Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to this GTA 5 stunt track tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you guys some basic stunt track building, and it's really simple and really easy, and it's really fun once you really figure everything out. So I figured I'd make this video because I haven't really seen a lot of stunt track tutorial videos online, and I figured I'd make one because I make a lot of tracks in this game. And I just figured it would be a lot of fun to do. So, first thing you're going to do is you're going to place a trigger. So you go down to placements, grab the trigger, and then your trigger is basically where your job is going to be starting in terms of like where you would find it in the map. Or if you just go to your job list and activate it, this is where your characters are going to be standing around. And it's also where the start of the race is going to be. So, we're going to be building a racetrack over here in the desert at Trevor's Airport, the Gran Sonora Desert. And a nice little trick here is if you want to get around the map quickly, you could just pause the game, go to map, select anywhere on the map, and click X, and you will automatically teleport to that spot. So now that we are here, we're going to go ahead and place our trigger anywhere around here. Let's say right here is a good spot. And make sure you know where your trigger is at. Usually when I place my trigger down, I don't move the left stick or the camera. I'll go ahead and go back and go to props. And the prop option is available now because I placed my trigger. So you're going to go ahead and go down to props, of course. Sorry about that. And you're going to go ahead and pick your first track piece. Now, every time I build a track, I always like to start out with the stunt track category and with a track start grid of at least 30. Now, the 30 means you can have 30 players. 16 is the other amount. Now, there are a couple different styles. Some have like these cool little start gates and things. Each have their 30 to 16 variation. We have this one here, and then there's this new track piece that was actually recently added that has a pit stop feature, which is pretty cool. I don't really know if they're going to make some sort of pit stop feature in-game, or maybe it's just something for decoration, for role play, or just to make tracks feel more realistic. But I thought that was pretty cool that they added this. So we're gonna go ahead and just use. We'll go ahead and just use the start line with the pit stop. So to place things, you just push X to place. If you want to delete any items, it's a good idea. This is a good idea if you're deleting smaller items. Is switch to a smaller object. Let's say like this. And what you're gonna do is the left and right sticks. If you do L3 and R3, R3 is to go down and L3 is to go up. Now, if you want to delete items, just levitate over something like this, and then push square, and you'll be able to delete it. Just be very careful. You can accidentally delete things. I do it all the time. It can be kind of annoying, but there is a solution to fix that, and that is to lock the items. And to do that, you can go to advanced settings and you can hit lock delete, and this will stop you from being able to delete this prop until you switch it back to the off setting. So that's a really cool little thing there to know. But let's get into the official track building. So we got our start gate here. Now I haven't placed this yet. We're gonna go a little higher here. That seems about good. Now we're going to go ahead and activate prop stacking and prop snapping. And while I place that down, you'll see another piece just spawned, and this automatically snapped into place. Now this is what the snapping does, of course. So we're going to go ahead and get another piece here. Let's go ahead and get a track piece with walls. Alright, here we go. We got a medium track piece, so place that here, and then we'll get a turn going. Okay, and then, you know, you kind of just place track pieces. And you can literally just switch in between track pieces and, you know, slap together some simple stuff. So, let's go ahead and just build a simple track here out of just the normal stunt track pieces. Just make a simple little course here. Alright, so there you go. Pretty simple. Just snap together all nice. So yeah, there we go. We got a little track. Now that's just the basics. If you guys want to do really advanced stuff, which isn't too difficult once you kind of get the feel of how different things work, you can definitely build some really awesome stuff. So we're gonna go ahead, place another start track here, and we're gonna add some. I'm just gonna go ahead and just kind of mindlessly build here, but we're gonna add some jumps. So we'll have a ramp right here, or actually we'll just make this go into the air. Okay, come on. All right. Now the thing with snapping is you need to make sure each end get close enough to snap into place. When it comes to doing certain things, sometimes they won't snap very well. So it can be kind of annoying depending on what you're trying to do. We'll get into some advanced stuff in a sec here. But first I want to show you guys some other track pieces that are very important to track building. So GTA 5, their car physics are very realistic in terms of going up hills, your car goes slow, or, you know, there's gravity. Gravity exists in GTA 5, of course. So, if you're building an uphill, you're going to want to place these green stunt special boost pads. Now, you can change the intensity of them. Right now, we have them on strong, so we won't go extremely fast, but these will give us a boost of speed up this hill we have here. So we're going to go ahead and just place a couple. Now these are great to have because if you fell off the track and there was a checkpoint down at the bottom of the hill and you didn't make it to the top, it's always nice to have that, because if you didn't have this, you're going to be struggling trying to get up the hill. You don't have to put them separated like this, but it is a good idea to have them separated at different points of the track, so that way the car doesn't just stop at, like, let's say there's no boost pads right here, then the car would be going really slow after these boost pads. The car immediately drops back down to a normal speed as soon as it passes over the boost pad for a couple seconds. So we're going to go ahead and switch the settings here to supercars. I'm going to use, what should we use here? Use a Krieger. Okay. Alright, so we are here in car mode. You can switch the car mode by pressing the main pad button on the PS4. I don't know what it is on Xbox or PC, but whatever button you use to change cameras is how you activate it. Okay, so as you can see, I kind of placed the pads down with too much speed, but that's okay. If there was more track after this piece, then the car would have landed fine and kept going. So yeah, that's always good to have your setup like this if you're making hills or your car is going up a hill or anything. You can make all sorts of different hills where you can have it to where it, you know, goes up like a little bump like that. Or we can have it to where it goes straight vertical, or, you know, some crazy stuff. So, let's go ahead and give that a shot and show you guys how that works. So we're going to go ahead and go back to stunt pieces here. Here we go, stunt track, okay? And we're going to get a piece right here. And, oh, Come on. Connect. It's not wanting to connect. Alright, well, for some reason it's being stupid. Okay, well, it's being really odd and not wanting to connect. It's never done this before. Okay, well, you guys get the gist, really. I'll start building something else over here. So, when it comes to, let's say tubes and different pieces that are not the same. So, let's go ahead and place a track piece down here. We'll have here, and then we're going to go ahead and get a tunnel. And we're going to place this against the other track here. So we're going to change this to white so you guys can see the difference. So when these two lock in place, you have a sort of gap. So if you were to drive the car from the tube to this track piece right here, you wouldn't be able to get on top of this track piece unless you did some serious advanced editing, which we'll get to in a little bit, on some stuff in order to get the car onto this piece of track. So let's say you're in the tube and you want to go to this piece of track. What you want to do is go ahead and go to your, track piece you want to use, and what you're going to do is place it right here, have it locked in place, and what you're going to do is go to advanced options. Now, advanced options is a little strange, but it is the best way to critique or make your tracks 100% more accurate and perfect. So the world alignment is kind of annoying. I like to use local. So basically, in this mode, the track piece is able to move at a more accurate, precise kind of way with your controls, and it's not centered around a camera. It's centered around the actual percentages of alignments, essentially. It's just more accurate. So we're gonna go ahead and lower this track piece and bring it back towards the tunnel a little bit. And as you can see here, now if we were driving inside of the tunnel and we came out, we would have a smooth transition to this track piece. So I'm going to show you guys where this was originally when I had it snapped. It was right here, snapped in place. So if we were driving, we would not be able to, of course, get on top of the track piece. So with the advanced override position, we are able to move pieces more accurately. Now, I did discover something really cool. If you want to change, let's say, the pitch, roll, and rotation of the track piece, do not push X in this mode right now. So if you're in override position, go ahead and push circle, go to override rotation, switch to local, and you'll be able to rotate and change everything in terms of, let's say, like this, or, rolling it, or, stuff like this. And then if you're in this mode first and you want to go to the other settings, which was change the position, go ahead and just push circle, go back to override position, and there you go. So it's really easy, it's super simple and really awesome, and you can definitely make some cool stuff with the advanced settings. I've been able to make a lot of really awesome track piece connections with the track piece setting, or advanced positionings. I can't talk right now. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and start building a track from scratch. So we're going to go ahead and delete options and delete all. Yes. Okay, placement. Go back to place trigger. So that's basically how you place the tracks and stuff. We're going to go ahead and just, you know, like I said, go ahead and just start building a track from scratch. So we got here a track piece. We're going to bring this up. If you want to change the color, you can just go ahead and go to prop color. A really cool trick I did find, if you placed something and you don't like its color, grab another object and then turn off prop stacking. Hover over the object until that object disappears, and use L1 and R1 to switch the colors of objects that you've already placed. It's really awesome if you mess up or you want to make like a crazy colored track. You could just go over all your pieces and just go, R1 or L1 to switch the colors super easily. So it's really awesome. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just build away. I'm gonna build some stuff that I've kind of learned, or at least stuff that I like to put on some of my tracks. So we're gonna go ahead and build a loop. We're gonna build a couple pieces out here. Then we're gonna go to the hills. Here we go. The track up pieces. So we got a 45. We're gonna grab another 45. And now we are completely 90 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and go back to these track flat pieces. We can go ahead and use guardrails. We can or we don't have to, but we're gonna go ahead and just not use guardrails. Okay, so when it comes to making loop-de-loops like this is a very advanced thing to do. It's kind of difficult. What you're gonna do is go to rotation type, and you're gonna rotate the track piece, and then you're gonna go up in the air a little bit, get over the track piece until it snaps. This is a very difficult thing to do, but it does work. There we go. Now, this is very difficult because there are times where I have the tendency to go back and forth with the camera until it snaps in place. Sometimes when it does snap in place, it's not accurate. It'll be a little crooked, so I'll have to keep going back and doing it. For some reason, when track pieces start to change direction and go upside down, like I'm about to make a loop-de-loop, it will really affect the way the track piece sits, and it will get confused trying to snapping into place. So as you can see right there, it completely snapped in a different angle rather than snapping in the angle that I wanted it to go in. It also doesn't snap just from sitting there. We have to turn it. As you can see, this is right there. It was at that really weird spot where it doesn't connect all the way and it's crooked. So, nope, not doing it. Come on. It'll work. It takes a couple times, but it does work. Well, that time it didn't want to connect. Oh, I see. That was a... There we go. Okay. Now that we got that in place, we can go ahead and place another one. Sometimes you can get lucky and the next track piece will place automatically and you won't have to deal with the struggle like I am right now of having to place these. There we go. That's what we want. Okay, now we're going to want to place another one right here. Got to complete the circle. Come on. Come on. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's wanting to actually cooperate today. Usually, when I make loop-de-loops, it freaks out and doesn't want to do it. This is probably the fastest loop I've made in a while, because usually these never want to work this well. This is funny. Okay, so I like to call these pill loops. Essentially, it goes really high up in the air through a straightaway, leading up vertically. You can make normal loop-de-loops where it doesn't have to go in the air, but pill loops are sort of this shape. Now, when you're coming back down, you can either make it another pill loop going down, like another vertical, or you could just have it to where this comes back up. But this tends to be kind of hard to mess around with, like if you're not very like advanced at making track pieces, but this one actually looks really goofy. But yeah, it's usually best to kind of just mess around with stuff and see what you can try to do. So what we're gonna do now is place a corner going around this. We don't want the tracks to touch. I might not be able to get this to go around. Okay, hold on. Okay, so we got this track piece here. You know, we're gonna go ahead, delete that one. It's really weird, I can't get this to curve in the direction I want it to. Okay, 45. Huh. Okay, well, it's being a little strange. So, what we're going to do is just build another vertical going downwards. It's usually what I do anyways, but I don't know. Right now, I can't get it to really... Oh, you know what it is? I don't think I made... Well, no, I don't ever change the distance of the loop, so... You know what? Hold on. We're gonna go ahead and just place a vertical piece here. Come on. Okay. Nope. See, don't want that. Okay. Nope. See. Come on. Now, the problem with this is you want your track piece to be straight when you're placing it, because if you don't place it straight, it's going to come out crooked, and that's where it gets really annoying. Oh my gosh, come on. You can, of course, go into advanced settings and place the tracks, but it can be a little odd. Like, you can probably get your track piece to be slightly off, and it could just come off kind of strange coming down the loop, and it won't be, like, as smooth. So, usually loops like this are better to just do manually with the snapping. It can be really frustrating, like I'm having trouble right now, but once you get it, it's a lot easier. So we're gonna actually mess around with this a little bit and give it a little bit of an incline. Okay, I kind of fixed it. It doesn't look as close as it did the last time. For some reason, it just looked off. I don't know if I placed a different track piece. So now that we have this piece here, there's two ways of doing this, which the very first time that I've made one of these loop-de-loops, I made a path that went around this piece over here. And what it did was, let's see, here we go. It turned like this, and then we had another corner right here, and it just went around this other track, kind of like a U-turn. Can't really replicate it that well. There we go. Okay. Oh. Okay, we don't want that to happen. Okay, so we need a tighter corner. No. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so it kind of just, it came around like this, and let's see. Here we go. It came around like this, and then I had a straight piece here, and this is a really cool thing I'm going to show you guys. So if you ever want to make a jump and you want it to be accurately straight, what you can do is place track pieces down to where they overcross like this. And then let's say you're going to place a ramp right here, which we're going to do right now so I can show you guys. So let's see, ramp. Oh, duh, not in ramps. Okay, we're going to go to ramps. Here we go. So let's say you have a ramp right here. Okay? And that ramp is sitting there. And let's say you want to make, you know, this ramp jump over the track right here. So what you're going to do is, since you've already placed those pieces down, you're going to go ahead and delete the pieces that were touching this other track. And then you're going to, you know, make it to where you have a gap here, so that way when you hit the jump, you'll have a landing spot. Now, you might be thinking, well, this track looks kind of small. You know, you don't want to land on that. That looks really short. So there's this really cool thing I learned as well that I'm about to show you guys. Is right now the track is actually not flat. It's actually crooked. It's hard to tell right now, but if we were to come off of this at a higher speed, it'd be coming down. The car is gonna feel a little weird, like it's not flat surfaced. This road is actually crooked. So coming around here, you can see that this ramp isn't flush with the track, and that's because that ramp is actually flat, but the track itself isn't flat. So if that ever happens and you want to make a flat surface, all you need to do is find the surface that you want to straighten out and go ahead, grab another, oops, lobby camera, gosh darn it. Go ahead and grab another track piece. We're going to go ahead and go to the stunt building blocks. And we're going to go to prop stacking. And now you can see that this building block looks weird compared to the track it's hovering over right now. What we're going to do is place it and then delete the track underneath it. Now when that happens, you'll be able to know the perfect measurement of where you need to place your landing ramp, as well as the fact that you have a flat, perfectly flat piece. So we're going to go ahead and change the landing here. Okay. And, come on. Come on. There. Nope. Nope. Gosh. There. Okay, and now that we got this orange landing looking piece here, this landing spot, we now have a perfectly smooth transition compared to this last track. Anytime you adjust a piece, it's going to change the way it sits. So what we're going to do here to show this example, or show this off even more, is I'm going to give you an example here. So we're going to have these tracks come out a little bit, and let's say it gets back into this piece, these track pieces here. So we're going to transition over back to these. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to switch over to blue, change the color. We're going to place this down, okay? And then we're going to place this down. And then we're going to go ahead and get a shorter track piece. And we're going to make it crooked, like this. Okay, and to make pieces crooked like that, you just have them snap together. And you're just going to push R1 or L1 to do it. Now, if you do too far, sometimes, like if you're not looking, you'll pop off like that. L1 and R1, when they're not snapping, rotates pieces. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead, do this. Then we're going to add a corner, then a straightaway. Okay? And then now, the way we're looking at this is not, this is still crooked, right? So let's say you just wanted it to where you go up this, you would turn, and then you would keep going straight, right? Like, you see how this track piece that I'm laying next to this one, okay, so this yellow track piece next to this blue track piece, you see how these are different angles? There's a trick to fixing this, and that is to, let's say you want to make your track look like this yellow piece, but the blue piece is where you're driving off the ramp onto this yellow track piece. So to do this, what you're going to do is go over, place your object here, and then go down to prop snapping. Oh, whoops, sorry, not prop snapping. you're gonna go to advanced options. I was looking at the wrong thing. So go over here, go to make sure they snap in place, go to advanced options, and when you click override position, you'll be able to move your track piece. So we're gonna go ahead and drop the piece here, and then we're gonna override the rotation of it. So we're gonna go ahead and turn it this way, and that should be flush. Okay, and now it kind of looks a little crooked. It doesn't look like it lines up very well with the other track. So what we're gonna do is go back to override position, and then we're just gonna scoot this over a little bit, and you know, there you go. Now you got a flush track piece, so that way when you drive off of that track, you'll land onto this track, and this track is completely smooth, so that way it sets you up for you to continue making more flat road pieces. So after that, you know, we'll have a, let's make a little bit of a longer straightaway. Okay, we'll have that, and then, you know, we'll go into a turn, you know, and then this turn will lead into another straightaway or something, you know. Oh, hold on a sec. Sometimes the rotation type thing will glitch out, so just make sure you kind of mess around with it to get it back to where you want it to be. But yeah, so you got that there. You go ahead and just play some more tracks. And, you know, I'll show you guys one more time. So we'll, you know, have a track piece that goes up, you know, and then we'll have a corner, and then come back through here, have another corner, you know, straight away, and then come back over here, and then it's just like, oh, well, you know, I don't want this to be at this angle. I don't like how the track is at this angle. So what you're going to be doing is get whatever track piece, most likely a straight piece like this, go to advanced options, go to override position, and then you're just going to adjust it. Actually, we're going to go to override rotation. Okay, you're going to rotate, and then rotate this way, and then rotate that way. Okay, and then there you go. You got a bit of a track change there. Pretty cool. Okay, whoops, not world. I'm gonna go to love cold. Okay, and then we're gonna change that a little bit. Okay, and then, you know, you got your setup right here. Now, let's say you don't like how there's a gap where, like, you drive off and then you kind of land on this piece right here. Let's say you don't like that. Let's say you want to make this a smooth transition where both track pieces are touching. Well, this is really easy to do. What you're going to do is bring both track pieces together until they fluctuate like this, where both are touching. But your problem is you got little cracks and divots like this. Well, that's where this advanced setting comes into place, and you can just align your track pieces a lot nicer. Now, this can be kind of dangerous and sketchy. Like, let's say you move it over and you got this bump sticking out right there on the wall. You don't want that there, so you want to really just align that the right way. You know, fluctuate your track piece a little bit, change the rotation. If you want to move things slowly, you can just hold square. It'll do fine adjustment. If you want to move it quickly, you just hold triangle. Normal. Oh, well, that's weird. I guess the fine adjustment isn't working for rotation. But yeah, so you just triangle and then just normal rotation speed. Yeah, so you can just flush this out, make it nice and smooth. And there you go, you got that piece right there. Now, you might notice that there's this big bump here. And this can be crucial when racing because if cars hit it, they might spin out from the bump being too stiff. So, we're going to show some examples of how to fix this sort of situation when it comes to doing this sort of thing. So, you can, of course, change the way the track is angled, but this kind of, you know, can throw off the positioning depending on what you're trying to do with the track. So, it's best to really just mess around with it until you find something that kind of works. Sometimes it might not change, like this still kind of looks like what I had before. It still looks kind of rough. So what we're going to do is show you the, I like to call it the Band-Aid technique. So we're going to go ahead and place this track piece down. And then we're going to go over to, it's always good to use these pieces. It always helps a lot. We're going to go over to stunt blocks. Now, it's always good to figure out a different color for the track piece to kind of align this stuff together. So we're going to go ahead and make this purple so it looks better. So as you can see right now, this piece is just sitting right here. We're going to go ahead and change the size. That looks a little better. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty good, actually. We'll stick with this. Okay, so we got this here. And we're going to go to advanced settings. We're going to go to override position. And we're going to lower this a little bit. And we're going to go back to override rotation. And we're going to go this way. And we're going to roll it a little bit. Okay. And then roll it this way. Okay, so as you can see, this purple piece is kind of sticking in a spot where it makes a smoother transition between the bump of the normal course, and it just makes this smoother. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna go ahead and go over here and actually just build a whole new setup to basically show off an example of how this sort of thing works. So we're gonna go ahead and go to these track pieces here. Go ahead and just place a track here. Let's get one with walls. Okay. It's gonna be blue. Okay. We're gonna have another piece, blue. Alright, and let's say we want to make the track go up like this, okay? So we got this piece here. Alright. It's actually pretty damn stiff, but we can go ahead and just change this up. Actually, it looked kind of ridiculous stiff. So I'm gonna show you guys here pretty much the percentages of angles that you would probably need to use a Band-Aid to help the bump. So doing a lift about this much isn't too bad. Right around here is where you're gonna need a Band-Aid. Anything past this, you're gonna need a Band-Aid. You might even need a Band-Aid right here. It might be a little bit too stiff. Now, if you got a track piece like this, you're gonna need to use a ramp technique, which I'm gonna show you guys how to do that too. But let's go ahead and just do a bandage example. So we're gonna go ahead and get it right about here. Okay, so yeah, this is gonna look really bad, and it's also gonna make the car feel horrible when driving on it. So we're gonna go ahead and go to car mode, and I'm gonna show you guys what this does. So if you're in a race and you come across a piece like this, your car is gonna transition very poorly. See, it kind of felt a little bit rough. And of course this can happen with all sorts of pieces, whether it being a turn or just a straight like this. So what we're going to do, of course, is the Band-Aid technique. And I'm going to show you guys the difference of how the car handles the road. So we're going to go over to props. Oh, we don't want snapping. We want to turn off snapping. Okay. Now, you don't have to use the stunt building blocks. If you get creative, you can use different pieces. But I recommend using these just because if you're new to this sort of stuff, it just really helps to use these sort of pieces. So we're going to go ahead and go to, of course, advanced options, advanced override position. and we're gonna go ahead and place this in the middle here. Okay, and use the override. We're gonna slide this over here. We're gonna lower it right about there. Okay, rotation, and we're gonna turn it slowly right there. Okay, and then we're gonna use the other rotation here. Now that we have this here, you can see there's a little bit of a bump here on that end. So we're gonna smooth this out a little bit more. And if it turns out to have bumps on both ends, like this is starting to get a bump, you just want to get back a little bit over this way. Just want to get it perfect. Now, let's say you can't get it accurate. That's alright. You could just play around with it and you'll get it eventually to where you have a smoother surface. It just takes a little bit of practice. But yeah, that's how you make smoother transitions between the road pieces. Now, what's awesome about this is if you want, you could also have your first bandage there, and then you can connect another bandage, and you can use the L1 and R1 trick to flux between these pieces and make a really, really smooth piece. Now, this is a little difficult because you might be able, you might accidentally make a little bit of a lip, and the car might jump a little bit. But if it doesn't jump to an extreme, it's not a big deal. So now I'm going to show you guys the difference here. So we're going to get some speed here. Now watch this transition compared to last time. See how smooth that is? See, there's no aggressive bump or anything like that. We're going to go ahead and do this again, but this time we're going to use it on a much more aggressive vertical or incline. So we're going to go back to stunt pieces, of course. Okay. Oop, that's stunt tube. Okay. Alright. So we're going to have orange track pieces now. Okay. Got to place this down here. Place a smaller one. Okay, and then we're going to have the incline here. So, got the incline piece, and we're going to place this. Now this is really, really vertical. Tracks like Plummet, or a track where you just want like a crazy shape like this, this kind of stuff is going to take more than a band-aid. Now, there are a couple different ways to do it. I'm going to show you one that Rockstar has actually done a couple times, and that is using the ramp technique. This is the original way of how to actually transition smooth pieces. It's kind of hard to do compared to band-aid, compared to doing a band-aid, because you're messing with a larger piece, and it can be kind of difficult. But thanks to the advanced settings and, you know, messing around with some of the stuff, you can really get it to work. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and just stuff this in here. Actually, I'm gonna need a more ramp. There we go. That's what I need there. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and place this here. Okay, and then we're gonna go back to advanced options. Alright. And oops. Come on. There we go. Okay. So, depending on which way the track is going to be going, you can kind of see where this is kind of going, right? So, if we were going down this, you know, vertical piece, we would, you know, come down the vertical piece and have a smoother transition, of course. So, we're going to go ahead and change the color here. So, we're going to go ahead and switch over to a different track piece here. Gosh darn it. Okay. Alright. So we got that there. Okay. And this should be straight. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a tutorial. So we're gonna go ahead, get here. All right. So, you know, let's say we're going down this ramp. Okay, this is kind of vertical, and you know, coming down. Here we go. Really nice, smooth transition. Now, of course, you can try to do the band-aid trick on this. It might be a little bit more difficult, but if you're really good at messing around with the advanced setting, you'll be able to make these types of different pieces here. So let's go ahead and actually try to see if we can get a band-aid to work. I don't know if we're going to be able to, but it's worth a shot. So we're going to go ahead and go to the no, nope. Okay, I can't see obviously. Okay, here we go. Okay, blocks. Okay, we're gonna go with one of these blocks. Okay, we're gonna rotate it. That should be good. Gonna go to advanced position. Okay. Advanced rotation. Alright. And then okay, there we go. That should be okay, I believe. Come back to rotation. Okay, that might not be too bad. Okay, so now that we got this big band-aid here, it looks like it might work, but this bottom piece still looks kind of chunky. So what we're gonna go ahead and do, yeah, those are really chunky. So what we're gonna go back and do is add more band-aids. And now that we have a smoother piece to start with here, it will be a lot easier to add the band-aids. So go back to, of course, these. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and come on. Okay, stop snapping. Okay. No. Okay. Alright, it's doing the glitch. There we go, world heading. Okay, so we got that here. Go ahead, place it right there. Advanced options, position override. And okay, lower it. Okay, and rotate it a little bit. There we go. Okay, and then we got a smoother piece there. Okay, place that there. Go ahead and grab another piece. Snap it, and then raise it up a little bit with R1. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and turn off snapping. Come over here. Change rotation to world. Alright. Advanced options, position override. Okay, lower it. Position. Now this is where it gets kind of difficult because this piece, if I leveled it off like this, it would create sort of a lip to where the car would kind of jump. So you want to be very careful messing around with doing bandages like this. It can be kind of difficult, which is why I wanted to show you guys this. So now that we got this piece here, it's gonna be a little bit smoother. Okay, so we got that in place now, and then go ahead and just turn on snapping. Make sure we don't make too much of a lip. We're gonna change the color so you guys can see what the lip does. So we're gonna go to gray. So as you can see, this piece is raised. We don't want that, so we want to kind of just make a smoother transition there. And then this should be smoother. I'm hoping this actually is smoother. I haven't done a bandage like this before, but this should be smoother. Oh yeah, that is much better. Okay. It's a little rough, but it's a lot better than having just that yellow piece there. You can see the car really just rolls over everything a lot smoother. So that is how you smooth out track pieces if they are bent like that. I know this section kind of took a little bit. That's because this is a very advanced sort of thing to do, so that's why it took a little bit. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to oh boy, what do we have? I already showed you guys the straight path techniques, the smoothing techniques. Oh boy, oh man, there's so much kind of crazy stuff that goes on here. Oh okay, here's a good one. All right, so we're gonna do ramp jump predictions. This is sort of like what I did with the other technique of placing the track and kind of figuring out where you want to go with it. So we're gonna go ahead and place a track piece down right here. Okay, come on, connect. Okay, so let's say I want to make a ramp out of, or make a jump out of these track pieces, but I want to use a ramp piece like this. So let's say the ramp is going to be right here. We're going to make a thicker ramp so that way we can have multiple cars driving off of it. So this is going to be a pretty big jump. Okay, we're going to want some distance. So we're going to have this placed here. Make sure you have this aligned pretty well. We're going to have to change the color. Have that lined up pretty well. You can go to advanced options to critique it the right way. We're just going to be a little lazy and just place it there. So we're going to go back over to our track pieces here. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and go to, of course, the pieces here. Okay, so what we're going to do is grab whatever piece you want to use. Why is it not snapping? I don't know why it doesn't want to snap. Okay, well, it's being stupid right now. So we're going to go ahead and just place this piece here. Just pretend that these are snapped together, right? So when these were snapped, okay, you're going to just go ahead and keep pushing X. Sorry, we're going to bring it over here. Okay, so snaps in place, X, X, X. Okay. So let's say you want to make your landing piece this purple track, right? So you got these red tracks. You don't want these red tracks here. So now that you've placed them down, go ahead and delete them. And now you have a perfectly lengthed gap and an accurately straight shot from your launch ramp. Now I'm going to show you guys an example of not doing this technique, and that sense is, you know, you just place your track pieces down, you know, you got this, and then, you know, you get your ramp. Come on. Okay, you get your ramp, place your ramp down, you know, and then you're like, oh, okay, now I gotta make a landing spot, you know, so we're gonna go get like one of these big pieces here, and we're gonna just kind of set it over here, essentially. And like, yeah, you can try to get it accurate here, you know, leveling it off here and being like, oh, okay, I can place it here. But this technique is very difficult because you never know if you're not gonna get, you never know if you're gonna get the track in the right spot where you want it to land. You might place it to where it's crooked or something. So always do this technique. Now the reason I showed you this technique too is because what you're going to do with this big red block here, or what I'm going to do with it, is I'm going to place it down in front of this purple piece. And now that I've done that, I can delete the purple piece, and then I can place another big red block. And then I can look back and be like, oh hey, that's a more accurate looking landing spot. There's more room for landing, and it just looks a lot better, you know? So, that snapping technique for placing ramps is very helpful. Now, if you want to make a ramp, let's say, that goes really high in the air, to do this, what we're going to do is go to these track pieces. Okay, we're going to get a 45. Okay, place a 45. Then we're going to switch over to a straight track piece. Okay, we're going to go, you know, like large. Alright? Okay, so we got this piece right here, right? Okay. And this piece is going to make us go really high in the air. And we're going to land on a track piece that's way up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this piece, snap it in place, and we're going to flatten it. Like, make it, or actually, no, we're going to have it snapped like this in place. Then we're going to go to Advanced Options. We're going to go to Override Position. Okay, let's reset X clamp value. I don't know what that means, so we're not going to deal with that. We're going to go to Override Options, of course. We're going to rotate this piece until it's flat. You'll know it's flat if it's at just a really flat angle. This is 360. This should be flat. So now that we got this, you're going to go to Override Position, and you're just going to go ahead and extend this piece outwards. It's going to take a little bit because the advanced movements take a while when it's kind of long or whatever. So now that you've kind of moved this out a little bit, you're going to place it and then go back, grab a block or whatever you want to use. We're going to use blocks because it's easier. Okay. And then we're going to snap it to this piece. Now that we got that snapped, go ahead and delete this track piece. And then go up, place another one, and then there you go. You got yourself a really nice upper level landing spot. Now you might be thinking, well, how the fuck are you going to get out there? Well, that's where we got the thing I showed you guys earlier with these boost pads. So we're going to go ahead and place these boost pads down. We're going to put an ultra strong here. This should be enough speed here. Okay, ultra strong, and ultra strong. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if this works. Okay, so we got our pieces. Alright, and there you go. And perfect. Now, of course, you can have different measurements. You can make this go freaking super high in the air. But that is the best way to get the perfect measurements for up landing ramps. You can make it to where this launch piece is extremely vertical. Let's say, you know, you got here, of course. And we're going to go to here we go. Okay, we're going to go to here. Grab a 45. Snap it in place. Okay. Oh, actually, that's a little. We're gonna go 30. Yeah, 30. Okay, we got a 30, right? Okay, and then we're gonna go to